As everybody said, it's a real pleasure to be in this anthology and this beautiful artwork by Holly Chastain, who I didn't know, but I'm just immediately in love with this artist. And hearing everybody read just makes me want to sort of dive into the book. You've read the whole book. I mean, we only got little PDF proof things, so you saw your thing, but hearing everybody read just I sort of wonders ahead. I'm going to start with two of the poems that are in the anthology, and it was funny that I realized what I ended up sending in. I should also note I think I'm the other gay Cuban child of immigrants that's in the anthology. You may recognize me from the Obama inauguration. Anyway, but no. Let's see. My family story. A lot of my writing sort of autobiographical. They came from Cuba in the early '60s, and unlike Richard Blanco's family, they settled in Texas. They settled in South Texas, and so it was a very odd upbringing. Anyway, but these first poem was titled "Gay Mythology: How the Rivers First Flowed." One July day, Zeus did spy from mighty Mount Olympus a shimmering copper form below, at work on a pickup in a driveway. That sinuous body with pelt of gold turned wrench and driver in his hands, making the daddy of all gods wonder if Vulcan supplied the iron in those arms, or how Apollo's sun did kiss so red upon that muscled flesh to bring forth Neptune's salt that dripped heavy on the pavement. These questions stirred him so, and lost in thought did cause the mouth of the daddy of all gods to salivate beyond all reason or limit. And this is how the waters of the Nile, the Amazon, and the Mississippi rivers first flowed. Lucifer, different myth. In the older story, he's the first lover who gets upset when God tells him he just wants to see other people. Then God invites them all over, and Lucifer is creeped out at how young these kids are, fumes when God commands him to serve them, when all he ever wanted was to spend the rest of his existence with his one true love. Lucifer gets spiteful, starts burning the breakfast, forgets to bring in the newspaper, purposefully leaves the lid up on the toilet seat. Who wouldn't get snarly with such a radical change in the relationship? But there are no celestial marriage counselors, as if God would ever consent to take counsel. Finally, God rents a new pad for his new lovers and tells Lucifer to pack his dishes and move out. Tells him he never wants to see him again. Lucifer smolders in some dark pad and begins to conspire. Newer pieces. I was sort of reminded, anyway, very similar to some of the readings you've already heard around mothers, maternal love. AIDS obits as paper catapults. What were the color of your scissors as you stood in your immaculate kitchen, cutting carefully from the local paper? Did you include the entire story or just the photos and obituary headline? I only remember how he opened your monogrammed envelopes, unfolded them to show me, saying, "Look at what my mother keeps sending me in the mail." This was your response to your good son telling you the truth of his life, the truth you said you always expected, the good son of the good grades who doted on you, the good son who made your recipes when his friends came to dinner. What's the sentence for using the bodies of the dead as cover for the explosiveness of your bitter heart? Where are the war crime tribunals for the wars waged on good sons whose only crime is telling the truth? My father died in April, and I've had the opportunity to sort of write about him But when someone dies, you start reevaluating the relationship. So these are more recent poems. There's a Spanish word. There's actually a couple Spanish words, but I think the one that you need to know. The title is Gran Campeón, which translates into the Grand Champion. Gran Campeón. If you wait too long, you'll be left with nothing but an old man who can't box no more. You'll have spent your years putting up your dukes for the final fight, while the Gran Campeón lay straddled to the corner. After years of his sermons, litanies of scripture, pecado, abominación, he'll rise from his bed to embrace you. No knockout, just a win by technicality, your old father unable to remember the argument. What will remain is the unanswerable. If your father, before his multiple strokes, would have so readily embraced you and your lover. It's not important, they'll say. The important thing is what you have. Your prize will be the unease of not knowing. And I'm going to finish with the other poem. Got a lovely, oh boy, I just lost my spot. Lovely radical fairy named Coco. Born Bruce. I mean, Bruce is pretty gay too, but he wanted to be known as Coco. So, Melanesia in Virginia. Praise Coco, born Bruce, who every week brought an orchid for his cell between the elevator and the boardroom, who misted them meticulous and thus transformed Virginia into Melanesia. Everyone knew Bruce for the ways he broke forth from blandness with the spotted cowls of Phalaenopsis, Cymbidium's striped fingers, and the purple mouths of Dendrobium, all of them poring over the cubicles of work. Praise what resided in Coco to know what could love a light fluorescent and make the stale air bloom with you. Thank you.